Hello there guys, Raj here. Hope all of you are doing well. Today I have a list video to share with you today. So today is Father's Day, so I felt this video where I talk about 5 great gentleman fragrances felt like a really good time. I'd like to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a good time. I just met with my parents for lunch. We went out for really great Indian food. And it's always great to spend time with my dad. We have a really good connection and something that I very much cherish. So today, talking about my top 5 gentlemanly fragrances, felt like a good day to do this, right? I've done this video before. I will leave a link down to the previous video I did. This is like a new version, a refresher. And when I say top 5, I don't literally mean it. It's basically a substitute for 5 great fragrances. It's one of those things with YouTube, you know, it works. It's better if you say top 5, right? For the algorithm and all that stuff. So I'll leave a link down below to that previous video. I'll also leave a link down to a playlist where I have all of my list videos, seasonal videos, top 5s, top 10s, all that kind of stuff. So if you want like multiple fragrances in one video, check out that playlist. So let's get into the first fragrance, which is actually my scent of the day. Alright, first up, a 1992 release. According to Fragrantica, the EDT and the EDP were released in the same year. Perfumer Jean-Paul Guerlain, and of course this is Guerlain Heritage or Heritage, the Eau de Parfum version. I have tried the EDT and I might actually prefer it to this one, but I absolutely love this one. I think I bought this in the Paris boutique actually, the Champs-Élysées, or one of the boutiques there. I can't remember exactly which one, but pretty sure I picked this one up in Paris. And wow, this is spicy, aromatic. It's earthy. There's a bit of like a chocolatey patchouli note in there. Quite sweet actually. It has kind of ambery tones there too. Very classy, very classy scent. Quite a powerful scent, especially in the opening. It has a lot going on, which does settle down and actually become quite actually a little bit understated, which is something that I quite like about these gentlemanly fragrances. And actually, I forgot to say, what do I mean by gentleman fragrances? It's very much up for interpretation. This is just my subjective interpretation. You know, scents that are, I think, classy, sophisticated, maybe at times understated, maybe a bit of depth in there. Typically scents that came out in a very much older time period rather than modern fragrances. You know, anyone can wear these fragrances. Don't feel restricted. This is just my interpretation. So yeah, this was my scent of the day. I typically do wear this one in cooler, colder weather, but I wanted to switch things up today a little bit. It was a bit more humid and it worked really well. Really great scent from Guerlain, Heritage. Number 2 on this list is a fragrance from Bijan. This one is Bijan Men, released in 1987. I was also released in 1987, and I have to say, this does feel like a fragrance, when you smell this one, that you do get the feeling that it came out in a very different time period. This is not the type of scent that will be created today, especially not for modern men's marketed fragrances. But that's not to say that you couldn't wear it or you'll smell dated. It's just different, that's it, and actually a lot better than what you will typically find today. I think a lot of men's marketed scents nowadays are very much either too sweet or too aquatic or too ambroxan heavy, too kind of shower gel deodorant heavy, and they all seem to be at this extreme. Whereas this scent comes together really nicely. It has a really nice balance. It's quite powerful actually, but not in an obnoxious way. It's spicy. It's quite a rich aromatic scent. Quite woody, sharp citruses in here. It's really fantastic. It does smell quite. It smells quite expensive actually. If you can kind of use that as an adjective. You know, I wouldn't, if I was to blind sniff this, I would imagine it would come at quite a hefty price tag. You can actually find it for a really great price. And this wasn't on my radar. Carl from the channel Frag Guy, a fellow UK YouTube reviewer, sent me a sample. This was one of them, and I'm really glad that he did, because I don't think I would have discovered this fragrance. Great scent from Bijan. This is simply called Men. Okay, we're moving on to a real classic now. This isn't a vintage bottle. It is a very, very new bottle. I only bought it last month from the House of Chanel. This one is Pour Monsieur. This is the EDT. I really like the Eau de Parfum as well. This particular one, released in 1955, Henri Robert was the perfumer. I mean, if there is a scent that epitomizes class in a bottle, this has to be it. This has to be one of the sort of maybe top 10s that you would say are the classy fragrances. I mean, all of these fragrances are classy, but oh, absolutely fantastic. I wish it lasted a little bit longer, to be honest, but you've got that aldehydic soapiness, that green, grassy, mossy, wet feel there as well. It's a little bit rich and spicy. It's quite nice. I really, really like how this one is just so well put together in this green, soapy, aldehydic composition. It's really nicely balanced, and it is one of those fragrances that, you know what, if you just want to come across as really well put together, that you've got your shit together, you know, you are a very classy gent who wants to come across as professional maybe in your workplace environment, Pour Monsieur is absolutely that fragrance to go for, and is well worth checking out. And there are, you know, as I said, the Eau de Parfum, there was the Concentré version. I've never smelled a vintage version of this. I'm quite intrigued as to how it smells, whether it has changed over the years. Apparently my dad used to wear this one, and he was literally here like a few hours ago, and I gave him this one to smell, and he wasn't convinced that this was exactly how he remembered it when he bought it, if this is the one that he did buy several decades ago, but he definitely did enjoy it. And you know, talking of my dad, I would like to do another video with him. Those videos seem to be quite popular. I've done multiple videos with my dad on my channel. I will get him back on the channel hopefully in the near future, so maybe watch this space. Moving on to the next fragrance, this is one of my probably all-time favorites. I've worn this one a lot, and probably down to around here now, really coming towards the end of Roja Parfum's Scandal Pour Homme. This is the Parfum Cologne version. This one came out in 2019, but the original fragrance came out in 2011. I had that one. There was an Eau de Parfum version, which is the one that I had, and there is still in existence, and I guess he calls it the Parfum Strength fragrance, which costs a lot more. I mean, it's sometimes difficult for me to say like it's worth that jump from this version to the Parfum, but you know, both are fantastic. This one, again, very spicy. A lot of these have like this kind of spicy green element. That's something that I actually really enjoy in these types of gentlemanly style fragrances. Lots of lavender, aromatic, herbal, tarragon, basil, you know, piney, sweetness in there as well. Really fantastic, grassy. I've worn this one a lot. I wear this to work a lot when I'm going into the office. Very much a compliment getting fragrance, for sure. I really like this bottle design as well. The kind of gradients going from like a dark purple to a light purple. Good stuff. Probably a little bit of vetiver in here as well. I'm sure a grassy vetiver in the style of Creed's original vetiver. I get some comparisons there. Great scent. Similar, I guess you could also say, to a scent like an Eau Sauvage, but some similarities. There's a lot more going on in here than just that. Well worth checking out. Roja Parfum's Scandal, the Parfum Cologne version. And moving on to the final fragrance in this list, if you are a vintage fanatic, this one is considered probably, you know, it's got to be up there as one of the most sought after vintage fragrances. I think that's the impression I get from Gucci. This one is Gucci Nobile. So happy to have this one in my collection. I've been getting a lot more into like vintage scents, but not just like scents that came out a long time ago, which I've always been into, but actually acquiring fragrances that can themselves be considered a vintage bottle. Like it was, this particular one came out in, you know, the bottle itself is like 20, 30 years old or something along those lines. And this fragrance came out in 1988. It's considered the maybe like a benchmark aromatic fougere scent. I actually did a little spray on just to, I haven't got much left, but I just couldn't help myself, you know, just to remind it. Wow. Mossy, lots of herbal qualities, very Italian. Wow, that is really, really something. It does smell quite smoky actually. It has a smoky quality, which might be just coming from the herbs, giving me that feeling up close when I'm smelling it. So nice, intensely green, really, really, really good. Maybe a bit of mint, not in a like a light way, but almost in a mixture between a spearmint and a peppermint, kind of in between, you know. Lovely scent, really, really like this. Gucci Nobile, quite a rare fragrance. I know a lot of you good guys don't like hearing about scents that you can't buy, but then on the other hand, I know a lot of people love the thrill of the chase when going after vintage bottles, and this one. Do you agree? Do you think this is one of the all-time most sought after, maybe up there with Kouros, or maybe not quite on Kouros's level, but certainly in that ballpark? Guys, I'd love to hear what you think about these fragrances. Let me know your own recommendations. And yeah, it's always great to interact with you guys. And if you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe if you feel like it. If you like what you see, don't feel imposed. I also have an Instagram page and a Buy Me a Coffee page. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye.